Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday. You guys, this is on video. So if you're just listening in your ear holes, you can go over to Pink Shade Pod on YouTube and you can see us. And I'm here with Kimberly, part of my
Woohoo!
throuple. Kimberly, you're in your new place. Yeah.
Boxes everywhere. I had to
Yeah.
climb into this setup.
Yeah.
Climb over boxes. Yeah.
When did you move though? When did you move exactly?
Thursday. So 4 days ago, something like that.
Have you been sleeping in your new place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And doing nothing else. I haven't unpacked a single box.
It's overwhelming, I imagine.
It's too overwhelming. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm old. Moving hit me like a freight train. I was just exhausted. Today's the first day I feel like a person.
Yeah. Moving is so exhausting.
It is. And I
It's
didn't
because
even do it. I had people.
but it's like an extended amount of time of
Yeah.
thinking and packing and doing
Yeah.
and yeah.
And I think I just got through it like by the skin of my teeth, and then it all hit me
Yeah.
the
And now
next
you're
day.
like wiped
And
out.
then I needed a few days to just
Oh my
rest.
goodness. Well, congratulations on the move. And
Thank you.
I
This is
look
the only time I thought maybe I should have gotten married. It would be nice to share some of this responsibility, like put them in charge of switching over the utilities, just something. But I think ultimately what I've learned from 90 days that men tend to cause more work for the women. So
yeah, I think that's all true. But now like the last time I moved, which was whenever we built this house, like 12 years ago, um, you had to do everything on the phone, right? So every single thing you needed to do to move, you had to do on the phone. So you had to sit and you had to
mhm.
wait. So at least there's probably stuff you could do online now.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I
And
still have a stack of like mail. I just get so much junk mail
yeah.
from
Oh yeah. Yeah.
like I give to one charity and then I
Mhm.
get 50 other ones,
Yeah.
and I want to save the donkeys and I want to save the wolves, but I can't save them all. And so
Mm.
I need to change my address or get off these mailing lists, and that's like a full-time job.
It's the same as with the stuff in my inbox.
Yeah.
I'm just like I just mark them all and then delete them. And ever, like around like Thanksgiving, Christmas, a couple years ago, I think, you know what? I'm just going to everyone that comes in, I'm going to go to the unsubscribe on.
Unsubscribe. Yeah.
But you God, it takes forever.
Yeah.
How did I get on some of these lists? And my God, if Donald Trump or Joe Biden sends me one more text, they're
I keep
just
doing
texting me nonstop.
stop, stop,
Yeah.
stop, and I'm still getting like 10 a day.
I know, and I do know that sometimes when you do stop, that just makes them, "Oh, now we've got this is a correct phone number," so they'll just keep going. Yes.
Are
Sometimes
you
stop is an
serious?
indicator that now you're a real person, so that then they'll keep it going. Yeah.
No. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes, that's true. I'll tell you, did you read,
I've screwed myself.
Ronan Farrow's book?
No.
It was the same as his podcast, but it was his book,
Yeah,
whatever it's
yeah.
called. So good. The book was so good. And he explained that when he was being tracked by those Harvey Weinstein people because he was
Mhm.
writing the articles,
Yeah.
um, that he kept getting something all the time about like something about the weather, and he would just delete it, delete it, delete it. And he would get one like every other day. And finally, one day he replied to it and wrote stop. And that's how they started tracking his phone. Isn't that crazy?
Damn
Is that
it.
crazy? Yeah. So that's some like Blackwater crazy something spy
I
shit.
am
Yes.
scared. This is
Mhm.
Black Mirror. I'm
Mhm.
scared.
Yeah.
They're already always listening.
Yes. So anyway, Ronan Farrow, that book, really good. I wish I could
Thank you,
remember the name
Ronan,
of
for
it.
the tip.
Thank you, Ronan. And thank you for being so handsome. I know.
Yeah, he
It's,
is handsome.
it's not it's not on him to be handsome, but he is handsome. So I'd like to thank him
It's
for
just a
it.
bonus.
It's just a bonus that he's good
Yeah.
looking. Okay, so we have a new episode here. It's 90 Day the Other Way, guys. Now, we were doing HEA here, and I would like to do a dramatic reading of Kimberly and I's text exchange from yesterday when she didn't. I've been announcing it every single week
You have
for a
said,
month.
and I quote, HEA is moving over to Patreon.
Hmm.
So I assumed I was moving with it.
Okay, no. And I've told you also more than once that we will be covering it on you. We will stay here You just have not. I think that sometimes when I'm doing my opening and I'm spewing about, propaganda and promo, that you're not paying attention, and that's fine. I would probably do the same on
Go
your
back,
podcast.
check the
Uh-huh.
tapes. You never once said that Amy was now replacing me for the rest of the season. Never once. I
Not, no,
always thought
the
I was
show is
doing
moving
both.
there, so whoever's recording over there is got that
I
show
would
now.
think the host goes with the show.
No.
Wouldn't you think that? That if I've been doing Happily,
Hmm.
I would go with Happily.
Well, I'm sorry that wasn't clear. I told you that we were going to be covering The Other Way right here,
Yes,
me and
I
you.
thought we were doing both.
And then you thought I was going to make you do 3 shows and
Yes.
Forbidden Love? You
Yes,
did?
I was like, wow, I'm really popular.
Well, you are.
Mary Payne loves me.
Well, I do.
Basically,
Okay.
it's Pink Shade with Mary Payne and
And
Kimberly
Kimberly, yeah.
and Meredith and Keisha and Amy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Meredith quit, so it's just Amy.
Meredith quit. I was just listening to the UK.
Yes, she, has got too much going on, so
Oh,
she is off.
understandable.
She will come on here and there when she wants to,
Okay.
and then Amy is now taking back over for Hey Bunky on the weekends. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So here's the, text exchange between Kimberly and I. So I'm saying, should we do Monday at our usual time, 4 or 5 PM? And don't worry, the religious show starts, uh, July 21st. So you don't have to worry about the religious show yet. And she says, I am sorry. I am so dumb. Tomorrow, Monday, we are recording HEA and then recording for The Other Way. Am I not getting this?
Yeah.
So I've said now,
I finally just asked outright
yeah,
because I kept hinting, assuming you would be more clear. And then I was like, just put on your big girl panties and admit that you are confused and
yeah,
don't understand.
yeah,
And that
yeah.
you have now maybe invited yourself onto her show again to do more shows because I fear that I am being replaced. But because she hasn't said anything about HEA, she keeps saying it's moving over to Patreon. And I
Yeah.
assumed I was going with it.
No. So
Didn't know.
I said, you and I are no longer covering HEA. Your long national
Yes, that's
nightmare
when I
is
finally got
over.
it.
It's
That's when I got it.
trying to relieve you of this. Relieve you.
That's when I got it.
So we're only covering The Other Way. I'm putting HEA on Patreon. Who is doing it with you? Who has to suffer if not me?
Mhm.
Which is very biblical the way you're saying it. Who has to suffer if not
I
me?
was Job, and I'm passing the torch to someone
I
else.
said Amy, and then you say you owe her a gift basket.
Mhm.
So guys, here we are on Tuesday, 90 Day The Other Way. That's going in this spot. If you're just super invested in HEA, you can't take missing it. That'll be on Fridays over on Pink Shade Prime. The link is below. It's on the website, all that.
Which
You can,
you
yeah.
should listen because Amy is amazing
She's
and
very
hilarious.
excited actually to talk about Big Ed and Angela because she obviously, like everyone, hates them and can't wait
Mhm.
to bash on them.
I love it.
Yeah. She hasn't been covering it at all. She's just been watching it, but hasn't covered it on her podcast or
I
had to
know,
take
and
a note. Yeah.
I remember her saying to you that she thinks everyone should be talking about Big Ed because he shouldn't get to hide in the
Mm.
corners and not have podcasters cover him.
Yeah. So we just talk about how awful he is. Yes.
So,
Yes.
I mean, you got to speak the truth instead of just ignoring the problem.
So for
He's
The Other
the
Way,
stain on our nation.
The Other Way is what we're covering right here. And also Kimberly, you guys, if you're not looking at the video, it says, Mary Payne, Pink Shade Pod on my moniker. And Kimberly says, Kimberly broken up with Big Ed since July 1st, 2024. So
Yeah.
she got
Today's
it.
date, there will be a before and an after in my life.
Until he comes on to the next show. So overall thoughts of 90 Day The Other Way so far.
I really enjoyed it. I'm hooked already.
Uh-huh.
I'm invested in all the couples except maybe the one guy that plays with Legos. I'm not as invested in that couple yet. I'm super angry about Sarper and Shekinah already.
Good.
I don't feel like that was a fair trade. I feel like I gave up one awful guy and I got another awful guy. And I just feel like it was kind of 6 of 1. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we're getting much more people. We just started off with 4 couples this week. And since I had the screeners, it was an hour and a half on the screener. So I have to assume that means it was a 2-hour show, which I was assuming wrongly that it would be a 1-hour show.
I'll have to look at my
So,
DVR guide and see what it says for next week.
yeah, hoping that maybe they're just kicking it off that way.
Yeah.
But so far so good. And 90 Day the Other Way, season 6, episode 1, my best friend's meddling. Okay,
So
so
they're
we're
doing the
movie
same
titles.
thing that
Uh-huh.
MILF Manor.
Uh-huh. Right. Listen, there's only so many ideas.
Yeah.
There's only so many ideas. Remember when we did The Other Way and it was all like inspirational, like scripture verses, and we'd have like
Yes.
Muslim sayings or
Yes.
and they would be Egyptians and then we would really look them up and I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that a lot.
Sometimes the Learning Channel delivers.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it says my best friend's meddling.
Meddling. Yeah. You know, I learned something about my sister this weekend when I was in Mississippi. We were sleeping in the king bed together every night. So my son could just have his own room that had 2 beds in it for some inexplicable reason. So my sister and I were in a bed together. And what I discovered about her, not only have I now named her TikTok Tay because she just doom scrolls before she sleeps. So what you hear is, we're getting to The Other Way, guys, but this has something to do with it. You get the dog barking, Amazon finds, someone dancing, then a baby laughing, and then another "brrr," like a real loud, like jarring sound because she's just scrolling while
I
I'm
don't
trying
think
to
that's
sleep.
doom scrolling, though. I
I
think
think
that's
it's
just scrolling.
scrolling. I think
Yeah.
everything is all scrolling is doom scrolling, all of it to
That's
me.
not what the definition is, though.
Oh, well, I thought doom scrolling just meant when you just scroll, scroll, scroll all the time and you never.
No, it's like bad news, like looking at horrible war and just politics and horrible, depressing things.
Oh, well, then she was happiness scrolling, but
Yeah,
whatever it is, it's bad for your brain right before you're trying to sleep.
absolutely.
And that irritated me. And I really can't remember why I said that. Oh, what I found out was because you just said other TLC shows. What I found out about that was that she loves pimple popping videos.
She's my girl.
And I said, my co host Kimberly loves those too. I think it's disgusting. She's like, this is something I've recently found out about myself that I enjoy it.
Mhm.
You can still learn things about yourself in your
I
50s.
love that, that's beautiful.
So gross. I was like, ew, because she and I are exactly alike in 98% of ways. Really. We order the same thing at restaurants, everything. We're always exactly alike. Not twins, just act like twins. But
Your whole
she
family has very strong facial genes. You all look very similar.
just we divide at the pimple popping because I was like, no,
There
girl.
must be something in the brain that is you really like watching pimple popping stuff or you don't.
Yeah. I did watch a video that because I talked about it, to my husband or something. So a video came up and it was showing people like plucking eyebrows. And that's the same idea, right? It's the same, like it's very zoomed in on
Ugh, I
little
don't know,
things.
that kinda gives me the willies.
I enjoyed it because I love plucking eyebrows. I love getting right to the root, just getting it out there.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pull out or push gook out, whatever, guys. This is gross.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, 90 Days the Other Way, my best friend's meddling. So we're happy that we're going to get movie titles because we really have something to like or dislike every week. We're going to start with Sarper, who lives in Turkey, and I don't have his age, and Shekinah, who's 41, who's from LA.
Yeah, Shekinah is 41, he is, 43. No, that's wrong. I
No,
wrote it down.
I feel like he's older. I think he's like 48, 40, whatever. He's too old to act the way he does. We'll just put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gross.
Okay.
Okay, so it starts off with why is Mary Payne doing this to me? Ball gags, handcuffs, sexy music, sexy times. My nightmare. And it's Shekinah dressed up in a costume with a wig and glasses. And she in naughty wear. She's naughty core. And Sarper is on Zoom and he's a horn dog. And he's like, you are gorgeous. My secretary and I'm your boss. Take out your notebook and come to my office. Now, I don't think he should ever say the word notebook again because what did your mind go to when he said notebook?
Nothing because I've never seen that movie, if that's what you're going to say.
No, his sex notebook. his sex log,
Oh,
his sex
oh.
ledger, if you will.
Mhm,
He had check marks, and then we're going to see it later on for
mhm.
all of the ladies he's banged anyway. So he wants her to use a pretend name, and she'll do the role play, but using a fake name is too much, which I understand. When your man has slept with 3,000 other ladies,
Uh-huh.
maybe you don't want to use a pretend name and have him fantasizing about someone else.
Yeah, I was like, that's interesting that that's the line that she's
That's
drawing.
the
"I'm
line.
going to be your secretary in these clothing that the
Mhm.
secretary would
But
not
I'm still
wear,
Shekinah.
but I'm still gonna use my name."
Yeah.
Okay. Mhm.
And she's like, "I'm gonna use this ball gag on you." And I
Mhm.
screamed. So she is from LA, she says, but she's not from LA. She's like a transplant. She
Mhm.
grew up in a Amish adjacent community. I think from what I saw online, it's like an Amish community that her parents appropriated and then invented their own religion. It sounds super culty.
It's very culty. I think there were 6 daughters or something like that. They all have names like Shekinah. We've met her
Mhm.
one sister. And then you know that there was the trouble with the father who went to jail. And yeah. So Shekinah did not, um, she didn't have a good upbringing, let's just put it
No.
that way. No. And it's very sad because a lot of times on these shows you can see, oh, she just wants
Yeah.
this or that, and it's
Yeah.
from
This
her upbringing. Yeah.
whole show should be called Daddy Issues. She is clearly jumped from one cult to the cult of Sarper.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
Yep.
so she shows him the feather thing and she says what she's going to use it for. Don't make me say it.
No, you
I'm
don't
not,
have to say it. No.
thank God. And then he says, my thing is like the Statue of Liberty right now.
That's right.
I
That's
almost feel like
right.
this is a downgrade because Big Ed and Liz at least were not having sex this last season because they hated each other.
Uh-huh. These 2 are just so gross, and they're trying so hard to be, like, TikTok famous. Maybe they've come
Mhm.
across my sister's, algorithm, but
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
But they're always on there trying to do these, like, funny skits and things, and it's just not hitting for me. No. Mm-mm.
I would watch those. I'm gonna watch and see what I think. Brandon and Julia, I think, are funny online when they do skits. Yara and Jovi are kind of funny when they do some skits.
Uh-huh. Brandon and Julia, I'm over because it's also, like, produced, and then every so often, like, his parents pop in the picture.
Yeah, I
But I
can't.
will agree that Yara and Jovi, but especially Yara, is really funny on
She's
Instagram.
very funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarper and Shekinah have money troubles. They could do OnlyFans. I mean,
Yeah.
if they want to be faithful to each other but still make money with their sexuality, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
So she went to Turkey and met Sarper on a dating app, and she thought this Turkish Lego hair man is so handsome. If you're new, he has Lego hair. It's like gray with streaks of white, black. It's black with streaks of white. It's exactly smooth plastic,
Yeah.
a wave, and
Mhm.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
So last season their big conflict, she went to Turkey and he had his gross, disgusting bed that he slept with 2,500 to 3,000. It's somewhere in that range, women.
And for somebody
And
who's banging so much, you would think he would want his bed to look better, but it was like a beaten down white vinyl
torn, like
headboard.
the stuffing was coming out.
It was awful. Yeah, I wouldn't sleep in that bed just for many reasons, but the fact that it was so
Call 1-800 got junk because I just used
yes.
them and they took
Oh,
away my disgusting bed that
oh,
I've had for 25 years and it had a slant in it because I've
yeah.
been sleeping on the same side for the past
Yes.
however many years.
You
I
never
really
rotate
should
your
have.
mattress?
I never rotated it or flipped it. I can't lift it, and I
Yeah.
just again maybe I need a husband.
Mm.
I should just have. I should have gone on Thumbtack and just said, "Can you find somebody just come and flip my mattress because there's a slant. I literally will tumble down this hill
So
if
you have
I."
a brand new bed in your apartment?
Yeah,
Oh, that's very exciting,
I
Kimberly.
know.
Yeah.
So he already another conflict was he said all of a sudden he wanted to have a kid, even though he had told her when they first hooked up he didn't want a kid.
Yeah.
She's already had a child, who she's ignoring. She doesn't want another child to ignore and send off to boarding school for their
Right.
entire life.
Mhm.
So allegedly, I mean, I don't know their relationship, but
It's about right.
it seems right. So, but now he says, well, I still want a kid, but I'm going to let it be her choice, which is such a novel idea.
He has a kid somewhere in the world, don't forget.
He does have a kid that he doesn't know where they are, or
Right.
he hasn't found yet.
Right.
So maybe that'll be another plot line, genetic testing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he only has one. 3,000 women?
Mhm.
Come on.
Yeah, just the one.
So all he has to do is walk around Turkey and look for Lego hair and then just be like, oh, that's my kid. So they're having financial issues in Turkey, which I was very surprised because I thought he was making good money as a trainer. We're going to find out why in a second.
Yeah.
So
don't forget he's also a supermodel.
The supermodel trainer I don't know what he's a men's fashion health model. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
So she moved back to LA to make money as an esthetician. She used to make money as an esthetician and a attendee of LA events, and she just got paid to go to parties and look pretty.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But now she's not doing that. More on that later. So she came back to be an esthetician, and he's being faithful long distance. She's very jealous and possessive. Wouldn't you be? I mean,
yeah,
anyone would be with this.
I would be very worried. I'd be very worried to leave him. Yes.
He gets annoyed that she asks, like, oh, are you being faithful? And then he breaks up with her. And then he calls her crying after 10 minutes saying, I still want to be together. So it's all very healthy. It's all healthy here.
I remember that on the reunion when she was like, no, I think it's great for the man to lead, and he's my leader and I do what he says. And
yeah, she loves to be controlled. And I think it has to do with her upbringing. There's one area where she takes control, which we'll get into. It's very fascinating. Also, has he been tested regularly? Because how does he not have every STD known to man?
How does he not get at least half of those women pregnant? I don't know. Maybe he's because it doesn't look like clean and neat. So it's not like we think like, oh no, he's definitely always wearing condoms and getting regular tests. He doesn't seem like that at all.
Unless it's all fake and he wrote those checks in that notebook inspirationally. So she's now moving back to Turkey, and we see this cute dog. I was very concerned for the dog. I was like, is she going to send the dog off to boarding school? What's happening with the dog? Anyways, we'll get there. So Sarper, then we meet. He's Mr. Chlamydia. I feel like I would assume. I don't know. He's 43. He is 43.
43. Okay.
I would say he looks older than 43.
I thought he was like 49. Yeah.
Yeah. It's his tan and his probably Botox and stuff that's making him look like he's had a lot of work done. And that makes him look much older than 43.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he's had a lot of work done. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we see him counting out grains of rice to eat. So I guess, and no making fun of mental illness, but he counts everything when he's anxious. Odd that he has not counted the number of women that he slept with and just knows there's a range within 500.
Because I think he didn't always put them in the book. Once he has an accurate counting once he started the book.
I see. Okay.
And that started when he was like in his mid-20s, but he was, he banged lots of chicks before that.
You're right. And he was so impressed with himself. He's like, I should start keeping count.
Yeah. Somebody someday.
This is going to be a world record. Does Guinness need to come and authenticate my book?
And how would they? Yeah.
I don't know. Interview the women, and then they could find his long lost child.
Ew.
So the women are not going to admit that they slept with him. No. So when he's anxious, he counts everything, and he only eats chicken and rice and works out. That's what his life revolves around. And I thought it was surprising he didn't eat brown rice. And I eat only white rice because I like it, but I know that brown rice is better for you. So,
I think that here's a real deep dive. When I did Teddy Mellencamp's All In with Teddy diet, and one of the things that you do there is you have a cup of rice with a cup of vegetables, and it does not matter at all if it's white or brown rice because they have the same nutritious whatever that's good for you. Whatever she was trying to get that fiber or whatever, either one would have worked.
Why are we taking advice from Teddy Mellencamp?
Listen, I'm just telling you I did it for a couple of months, and I'm just telling you my lived experience. I don't need judgment.
My doctor suggests brown rice.
Okay, well, then
But,
there you go.
who knows? So he thinks that counting the girls in his notebook was part of his counting thing.
Mhm.
I guess he's trying to make that more sympathetic. The check marks.
Totally, because I was like, "Oh," because I not that I'd forgotten about it, but I think now he's trying to be like, "Okay, so I got that book out, it was terrible. So let me come up with a reason, so now I'm gonna
Right.
pretend to count." I don't think any of it's true.
No.
Mm-mm.
And then we saw a flashback to him showing the video on the tell-all. He confessed that notebook to Shekinah in front of Sean Robinson and God and everyone. And
Mhm.
poor Tim cannot even look at him. Tim just is not making eye contact. So
No one should make eye contact with him.
no. So and Kalani is like, am I gonna get an STD just from looking at you?
Yeah, from just
Mhm.
being yeah, but she just
Yeah,
had another baby, did you see that?
I saw that.
Yeah.
Does she not understand about birth control?
No, I think she absolutely does not. No.
No, I know
Mm-mm.
that he didn't like to use it, Swelu, but,
Right.
now she's with a new guy, but
Mhm.
okay. So his record, back to Sarper, was 4.5 women in one day.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys figure out what the half was about.
Mhm.
But now he's totally faithful to Shekinah, who comes in 2,568 hours. She's
Uh-huh.
counting the hours till when
Okay.
she's coming and he can have sex again. So
Mhm.
then he plays with his niece. It was actually very sweet. He explains that he's an iceberg and his muscles are above the water, but he has depth underneath the water. He's a poet, really. He should use his notebook for poetry. Um, and his sister comes and he is very close with his sister, except that she doesn't know that he slept with 7 of her friends.
By the way, also not his sister, it's his cousin because he says she's like a sister, and then I rewound because I was like, "Why did he say like a sister? Because it's his sister, but it's his cousin."
There, okay, thank
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
So, now we learn why he has money problems because Shekinah won't let him train female clients. And he 90% of his clients were probably horny women who
Yeah.
liked looking at him and wanted him to touch them.
Yeah.
So, um, that's crazy, but this is the only part that she seems to have control about in the relationship,
And that he actually does it because
and
before
that
he
he
said he would
actually
do it,
does
and then he
it.
didn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So his sister and oh yeah, last time she got very mad because he was still training women and she had said not to, and he pulled a lollipop out of her mouth and threw it on the ground
Remember,
because
like,
empty calories,
to protest, she went and sat in the locker room, and was, like, eating candy. "Ah."
candy, candy, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no sugar.
"No sugar for you, I need you to be exactly 138."
Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, he weighs her, he trains her. It's all just super makes me very uncomfortable.
Yep.
So his sister slash cousin and her husband, they think Shekinah is very controlling and jealous. And Sarper understands that it's because of his past, but he's trying to change and be better. And she's still, her bitchiness is just getting worse every day.
Yeah, he loves to call her a bitch. That's his
Loves
favorite
it.
thing. He also called her a slut, I think, last
Uh-huh.
season, but
And her
he's
sister got very mad.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's called her a bitch twice in this
Yeah,
episode
but
already, yeah.
she gets over it. It doesn't bother her.
Yeah.
And then he says some metaphor about water dripping. I don't know. So, and then we're back in LA and we learn that her dog, whose name is Adonis, because of course, I'm surprised it's not Gucci or something, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
he's
Coco. Mhm.
very LA. So it's the dog is getting groomed because she's bringing the dog to Turkey, not the daughter who's been at boarding school her whole life, which is okay,
That's
but,
fine.
the dog.
Mhm.
So, I would rather have a dog around than a child, so I get it. So
A
she meets,
16-year-old girl, are you kidding? A dog is way
yes,
better, yeah.
nightmare. So she meets her friends there who look like fake LA people that I would cross the street to avoid.
That guy with the drawn-on beard, I was like, "What is happening on his face?"
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
again, like a Lego person, like,
Yeah. That
it
girl was real pretty, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but dressed like she's going to a club with boobs out, but they're
Right.
going to this
Dog
grooming
groomer.
salon slash lounge slash like, I was expecting someone to bring them cocktails. Like, it
I
was
know.
very strange, and you watch the dog being groomed, I don't understand.
Yeah.
That's
Only
not
in
where I
LA.
would have
Only
ever
in
gone.
LA. Yeah.
Yeah, but there are not every place is like that in LA. I go to, like, a normal place. So
Well,
I'm not these people.
yeah.
So they're shocked that Shekinah has not been going to these LA events that they all go to. And she explains, well, he's not training women, and I'm not going to these LA events. So that's kind
Mhm.
of our deal. So she's staying at home. And they think it's very sad that she's staying at home.
They just go and stand around parties and mingle to
Yeah.
add people to a party?
Yeah. To add pretty people to a party.
Attractive people to stand around. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's like, even though she never wanted to get married again. I
Mhm.
think she was married to that guy. Did she say again? You remember that other guy? The father of her
Yeah, yeah,
daughter.
yeah. But were they married?
I can't so
Question
maybe they
mark.
weren't married. She's just
Yeah.
not into that,
Yeah.
but they agreed to apply for the K-1 visa, which I was shocked by. I thought she was just moving there,
Me too.
but
I thought she was just moving there. Yeah.
they want him to come here because they can both make a lot more money in LA. It's way more expensive in LA than Turkey, I would assume, but they can both make a lot of he can make a ton of money training, and she
Sh
makes
And
money
she's
as an
already got a
esthetician.
place. Yeah, she's got a place
Yeah.
to live, so he can just move in. Yeah.
So, she says, "Well, I do enjoy going to Turkey, so I'm gonna go there until we get the K-1 visa." And, in Turkey, we work out, he cooks for me, we have sex like 4 times a day,
Mhm.
and
Sure.
he's designed a new nose for me. I'm finally getting my new nose, and he's decided what I need, and he's gonna tell the doctor. I don't need to have any part in it. It's just my
Mhm.
body,
Uh-huh.
and
Right.
he's gonna tell the doctor exactly what to do.
I
And
love that
I
the friend kept saying the middle of your face. Like
yeah,
it matters where on your where else would your nose be? On the top
yeah,
of your head? The friend kept going, "The middle of your face."
yeah,
Yeah.
he's in charge of the middle of he's in charge of your whole body.
Everything.
So, I did misjudge the friends because they are as shocked as all of we are
Yeah.
and disturbed. They find it very disturbing. And again, this is that control thing. Like we saw it last season, like he picks out her clothes every day. He picks out her makeup every
Yep.
day.
Yep.
He tells her how to style her hair. Like,
Yep.
but she says she likes it.
Yeah.
And she grew up in that culty community. So maybe I don't know. It's very makes me super uncomfortable.
Why can't I remember the name of the woman that was with Wayne or Dwayne, and she had that long, the extensions
Yes.
that, like, went down to the floor. I can't remember her name right now.
Yeah, I know
That was
exactly who
driving
you're
me
talking about.
crazy, but she
Wayne.
also liked to be
Holly.
Holly, but she also
Mhm.
liked to be controlled, and she was, in a they were not Mormon, they
Jehovah's
were
Witness?
Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Who
she
just
was
came to my door this morning.
They did?
They did. New neighborhood. They were I don't know if that's gonna be a regular thing or not on a
You have to get one
Sunday.
of those little stickers. I got one from Amazon. It says "No soliciting," and then they can't knock on your door if you have the sticker.
They can't
No,
legally?
because it says no solicitors, and I have got it on my mailbox like a real goober, but I'm like, "Don't knock on my door, make my
I don't
dogs
want
bark."
that. I don't want pop-ins. I don't want any of it. So I need a sign that says just no people.
No, you can't get a
Dogs,
sign that says
okay.
"No people," but you can get a sign that says "No solicitors."
I could make one. No people, dogs okay.
Leave your dog at the door, knock and run. Yes.
Exactly. So that's it for them. We'll see what
Okay.
happens. I
Mm.
guarantee you I won't be a fan by the end. That I could bet $1,000,000,000 that at the last episode of this season, I will still not be a fan of this
You will
couple.
not have turned on them, I agree.
There's
Same.
nothing that could happen that would make me like this couple.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I really
Um,
can't think of anything.
okay, so we have a new couple and it's Josh and Lily. So Josh is 47 from Bluffton, South Carolina, and Lily is 46 from China. So we don't have a weird age thing here. This is good.
Have we seen him before?
No, these are brand
Gosh,
new people.
he looks
Brand new people.
so familiar to me. If anyone
Ah,
tells me it's gonna drive me crazy, like what other reality show he's been on or a guy that looks like him.
Does
Thank
he look a little bit like Mike Render of Scientology? Of Mike Render and Leah Remini, you
Yeah,
know?
maybe.
That's what I'm getting, Mike Render.
Okay,
Okay, it's a deep cut.
interesting.
The deep cut.
No, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Josh is fully playing with Legos. He is like, "Hello, my name is Josh," and he's walking like you do when you're like 5, and he had the characters talking to each other, and so he's just playing with Legos.
He's like, "Here, Sarper, I'm brushing your hair."
You're Sarper. Ah,
What's
so
more
he
disturbing, a 47-year-old playing with Legos or Clayton doing guinea pig noises?
wow. Uh, hmm. I'm gonna go with Clayton because that involves real animals living in your home, and
Right,
this
that's true.
is things that you could take apart and put in a box.
Good point.
Yeah. So he's fully playing with Legos and he says, "I'm just a big kid at heart. I love drones. I love remote control cars. I love video games." And another thing that makes him feel like a kid is he's moved back in with his parents, Jim and Liz. And he explains to us, so when they first sits down at breakfast, they showing them like scraping and chewing, and I was like, "Oh, are they trying to be like, oh my God, these parents are annoying because they're actually buttering their toast?" But we find out he has misphonia,
Mhm.
where he's irritated by sounds and his parents eating is bugging him. He goes to put on his headphones. The only person that doesn't bother him is his girlfriend, Lily. Now, we also, just for a quick, people with misophonia afflicts 20% of people. They feel anger, disgust, and a desire to flee when they hear certain sounds. Chewing and similar noises from the mouth are most often associated with this condition. Um, listen, we all know people like this but I'll tell you the other day, I, scrolled on the old Instagram and so there's Cam and Eris that were on Love After Lockup, and she's pregnant again. And she was doing a live, and so she had like a plastic thing of soup in front of her and a spoon, like in front of, in the screen. And she's just eating, slurping, chewing, and doing this live. It's like, anyway, so we're pregnant, slurp, slurp, eat. I was like, what, can you
It
get
was like a
done?
mukbang,
What does that mean?
a mukbang,
Yeah.
mukbang. It's like when people on, like, YouTube sit and talk to the camera and eat.
Okay. Well, yes, that's what she was doing. And it's not, nobody needs to listen, eat first and then do your live.
Yeah, no, I agree, I don't need to see it, but some people really like it.
No.
I
Mm-mm. It's
wanna
like
see a picture of them, 'cause I do I
Cam
know
and
them? Oh,
Aris.
yes, of
Cam and Aris.
course. Yeah, 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 of course.
I can't stand him, and Keisha thinks he's hilarious, and he bugs the fire out of me.
Yeah, I
But
don't
he's
think
still out of prison, so listen, he's
that's a
way ahead of the game for a lot of
yeah.
our inmates.
Mhm.
Okay, so back to Josh. He says he met Lily. So Lily is 46. She lives in China. He met her about 3 years ago on a language app. He was trying to learn Mandarin and she was trying to learn English. This is how Pedro and Chantel met, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Um, he says, after a little bit of time of chatting with her, he said, forget it. He's not trying to learn Mandarin anymore now. He's trying to like date her. He says she's witty and funny and gorgeous. And she came to visit him in the US and they got engaged and married within 18 days of her being there. She has never intended to live in the US. She has a very successful cosmetics business over there. And in 2 weeks, he's moving to China to be with her forever. So his brother Jared comes over and they get in their parents' hot tub, but they never turn on the bubbles because, audio issues.
Mhm.
But Jared says, yeah, they're very close as brothers and they are each other's support system. Josh is a year and a half older than him. And he's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to going to China. We're going to have our traditional wedding ceremony and his brother's going to come to the wedding. The parents didn't get their visa in time or whatever. But he's excited that Jared's going to come, even though they're already married. This will be their traditional Chinese ceremony. And Jared says, I do worry about what will happen if there's no fairy tale ending here because you've sold your house and your furniture and quit your job. And he's like, you can't move back in with me. I'm like, yeah. So Josh says when he goes to China, now they have different rules there. He'll be there on a spousal visa. And after 5 years of living there on a spousal visa and not working after 5 years,
That's crazy.
you can request a 10-year resident visa. And once you do that, then you're allowed to work. But he's not allowed to legally work until he gets that, which is not until 5 years. So I don't know if that means he can illegally work or if he can like work for her business and just not get paid or what.
That's
5 years
crazy.
is a
I didn't
long time.
understand. I thought the US was bad. Like, don't you want people's money? They're willing to work. Take their money. They're gonna live there.
I guess
If
because China has such an overpopulation problem, they're like any jobs need to be for the people that live here and not for people that come in.
but it's still going back into the economy because you're spending the money
Well, that's
on
true.
things there.
My
So
my cousin lived in China and he's a landscape architect. He lived in China and he
really,
worked. Yeah, it was his job.
but he wasn't on a spousal visa.
But he did marry his uh lady that cleaned his apartment,
Oh,
and she's from the Philippines, and then they moved to Dubai. Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
International couple.
yeah.
There is this another possibility, which is that Josh has the rules wrong. Because sometimes on this show, people do not understand or give a simple Bing search to where they are going.
Yeah, that's true. Um, so he says he doesn't want to feel like a deadbeat. He's always had a job, but he's going to have to rely on her 100% to pay for things and to translate everything. And he wonders why a woman like that would want to be with him and financially support him. And he has a fear she'll wake up one day and be like, why am I doing this with this guy? Right.
He
I mean,
says, I'm not George Clooney.
yeah, he says
He's actually not bad looking,
I
though, I
think
don't
he's
think.
cute and his brother's cute too.
I think he's super cute, and I don't see why she wouldn't want to. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing egregiously wrong with his face.
No, there's nothing egregiously wrong with him at all other than the fact that
No.
he's gonna move there and not be able to work.
Yeah.
So, they go to a records wait, nope, 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 nope. That is the wrong
That's a
couple.
different couple.
That's a different couple, shit. Okay, hold on, guys, hold on, let's click that part and then go down here, record guy. Oh, no. Okay, let's go to the apartment. Okay. All right, so now we see I was cutting and pasting and I messed that up.
I
Okay,
understand.
so we see Lily showing us a tour of her house. So she shows all of her hair bows. It seems like a lot of space for 10 hair bows.
It's
Seems
like
like
one of those housewives closets where
yeah,
everything's, like, on display,
yeah.
but she has not filled it yet.
No, it's like all those hair bows could have fit in 2 of those little cubicles.
I couldn't believe this was really her house. I thought she was gonna go, "And actually, this is my friend's house, and I am a frogger here." I just
I thought she was
I
gonna
come
say,
out when
and I'm a
he's
real
gone.
estate agent, and I'm just
Right,
showing
I'm
this.
showing this
Yes.
house. I could not believe she's how old is she?
Let me scroll up, let me scroll
She's
up.
wait, they are
She's
saying
46. She's
okay, so
46.
she
Yeah,
looks a lot younger.
yeah.
I was just surprised. It's such a nice house.
It's big and
Yes.
nice. So she says, I like to wear hair bows. I like to forever be a little princess. Then she tells us she has a beauty business. She wants every woman in the world to be beautiful. It seems like she does like lasers and creams and things. And she says she takes pride. She created wealth for herself
Good for
with her
her.
self-made business. Her business is very profitable. And but meeting Josh has been a total blessing. And he tells us about the house that he's was been very happy to live in her apartment. But she said when he was going to move there, she wanted to do this villa that she had. So I don't know if it's like outside of the city or what. So they have a lot of similarity. She says he's handsome, he's the man of her dreams, and she's been working really hard to get this house renovation done before he arrives because she really wants to show him like how excited she is that he's coming and how much she loves him. She's making like a media room for him. Um,
She's, like, gonna be his sugar mama
totally, which
for
is
5 years.
5 years. So they have trouble communicating. So they're doing like a Zoom and they're having trouble communicating because they're both working on their skills to speak the other one's language, but he's already admitted he stopped trying to learn. And she is showing him the house. And she's like, oh my God, I've worked so hard and I'm so tired because of the house. And he goes, I would have been happy to be in the apartment. She's like, no. And then she goes, this house has left me bankrupt. And he goes, yeah, so that's not the right word because that means you have no money and you have to file for help. And she goes, yeah, I've lost a lot of money, but this is my dream. He's like, wait a second, what? What? Does she just mean I lost a lot of money, like I spent a ton of money? Unclear.
I'm very concerned now
I'm a
that
little
she has
concerned as
made a
well.
bad financial
Yes.
decision here.
You guys know I'm always telling you about Tropical Smoothie Cafe. I love it. There's one right down the street. We go constantly. You know, they've got these new summer mocktails, and I really, really love those. I love the Mango Berry Cosmo. I add some coconut to that. Oh, it's so good. But I want to tell you about some other stuff they have. They have a turkey bacon ranch sandwich that is delicious. For a kid's meal, they have like a turkey cheddar wrap. You can get some baked lays and a little cookie. My favorite on the kids menu is the little limeberry. That's if you just want a little smoothie. You don't want the whole thing. You guys, they have the acai bowls. They also have delicious breakfast. They have a Southwest wrap. They have an all-American breakfast wrap. And, you know, for smoothies, they have those green smoothies. So if you're into that, they have that. My son's favorite smoothie is the kiwi quencher. You guys, I'm doing this off the top of my head because we order there so much. Like I said, the little limeberry I like, but I do love these new mocktails. The mocktails are only for a limited time. They have a mojito, and like I said, they have the berry Cosmo. That's my favorite. And again, don't sleep on the breakfast. Get it? Don't sleep on the breakfast. Really, the breakfast wraps are delish as well. So you guys, go to Tropical Smoothie. Try out all these things. You don't just have to try the mocktails. You don't just have to try the bowls or the wraps. Try everything. Go 3-4 times a week. Find out what you like. See what your main order always is. We're again going with that berry Cosmo mocktail because it's a limited time. Again, the little limeberry, the kiwi quencher, the acai bowls, the breakfast. You guys, all of it. Tropical Smoothie. You're on Tropic Time now. And the Talking Eddie says he really does worry about the pressure on her financially to do all of this. And then he tells us he's been married 2 times. And he knows he's made a lot of mistakes and he wants to be the best husband to her. So he's moving to China.
I want to know what those mistakes are.
I think we'll probably find out as we go.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Corona from Philly and Inky, spelled Inky, but Inky in Iceland.
I'm obsessed with this couple.
Are you?
I'm so into them. I'm obsessed with her family. I want them to all be on Pillow Talk.
Okay.
They're good TV so far. So she's 30. She lives in Philly right now, but she kind of travels around. She's like a nomad. And she's telling her hairless cat, this is how mommy is going to make some money for us. And you think it's one thing, but it turns out to be one of those fake outs that they do on the show.
Yes.
Like where you hear sex noises, but it turns out someone is exercising.
Exercising. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's on the bed doing some sort of twerking, booty shaking. And turns out she's a doula and is making birth coaching videos for her clients. And she says she's witnessed at least 1,000 births. It seems incredibly high.
Seems a lot. And also, I, as a person who's given birth twice, I wouldn't have been doing any of that.
No. You didn't shake your booty and
I
twerk?
didn't get on my hands and knees. No.
So she graduated from Penn with a BS in nursing and a 4.0 GPA.
Yeah.
Good for her.
She's very smart.
Yeah. And she wants to be a midwife and deliver 10,000 babies in her lifetime. She has the Sarper thing with the counting. Like, I didn't know people like counted all this. We do like hundreds of podcasts and I never remember when it's like, oh, this is our 400th.
No.
I never remember things like that.
I know Casey recently had her 1,000th and I was like, I've definitely done way over 1,000 at this point.
Yeah. You definitely have.
Yeah. But I'm like, where should I count that? How should I figure that out?
Go on your podcast app.
I know, but those aren't all with just me.
You do feed drops or something like that.
And then also there's lots of, because I've had Patreons. I mean, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Ingrid.
Yeah, let me give her another job. She would love that.
Can you count all of Mary Payne's episodes?
Yeah.
So she wants to deliver 10,000 babies in her lifetime, and anything with a vagina, she's interested. Okay. So she calls her kids over for bath time, who are her hairless cats, tits and tricks. It's the only time you'll hear me say tits.
Yeah.
That word is very hard for me to say.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I
Oh,
feel
okay.
just very inappropriate.
Okay.
Um, it's not that I don't like the word, like, I think it's funny when other people use it, but I can't use it, especially when there's an IES at the end. I can't do that.
Oh,
So,
no. The IES at the end is I don't just say that
yeah.
one, no. Mm-mm.
So she was an army brat growing up, and she was an actual brat too, because she was kicked out as a teenager. I feel like her parents like needed to hire Dr. Phil and send her to one of those places. So
Yeah.
she was troubled. But she seems
Don't
great now.
nobody send your kid to those
No,
places.
those are horrible.
Yeah, okay.
So she had to support herself from age 16 on. She started go-go dancing at 16. She put herself through college. She's amazing. I
Yeah.
do not love that she's bathing these cats. I didn't know you had to bathe cats, period, let alone hairless cats. But they
Maybe
seem to be fine
hairless
with it.
cats have something because they're hairless, so you've gotta wash them more or something, I don't know.
I
I don't
thought
wanna
cats,
know.
like, clean themselves with the licking, I don't know. So, I don't
How
think
can
Katie bathes.
but they
Maybe
can't
she
reach their
does.
back,
They're very flexible.
and they have to get
Maybe they bathe
groomed.
each other. Don't they bathe
Oh.
each other?
Yeah, and they have to get groomed,
Like, you
because
take your cats to a groomer?
yeah, I mean, my daughter has people that bring their cats into the groomer. I'm like, "That sounds like a nightmare."
Wow. Oh, yeah, the
Meow.
groomer cat, yeah. So, she is moving to Iceland to be with Inky. So I can't wait to meet Inky.
Me
So
too.
she met him there at a club, and then or she went to a club, and then there was an after party. This is like 5 a.m. She was exhausted. She thought he looked like a Nordic god, and then he saw that she was really tired, and he let her take a nap in his bed, and she
Yeah,
thought, "Oh, what a gentleman." And she slid into his DMs. They went on a date. He didn't make a move. She went back to America. They kept talking, and then she went to Ireland for her birthday, and they hooked up, and he treats her like a queen. So,
nice.
all good things so far.
Yeah, nice.
Her friends come over, Leo and their partner. Now, Leo is non binary. I'm only explaining this because Corona explains all this, that
Yes.
Leo is non binary and pregnant with a
Uh-huh,
beard,
uh-huh.
and Corona is their birthing coach. And she says, between these two, there's not a penis between them. So, this is a planned pregnancy. And I'm going to advocate for them in case, like, their healthcare doctors don't totally understand the situation. So,
I didn't totally understand the situation. I was glad she explained it, um, because she met Leo in nursing school,
yeah.
so perhaps Leo is also a nurse. But okay, so I can only go from what we've learned on our TV shows, right? So if
Mhm.
you are a transgender man, so you're transitioning from female to male, you can't take the hormones and stuff to continue that process and be pregnant at the same time. Um, to be pregnant, you can't be on the hormones. So I'm interested as to how Leo has the beard if Leo is not taking the hormones. It's none of my business. I was just fascinated by the whole
Yeah, I didn't think
thing.
about that. Someone call us. I have several trans friends. They might be able to explain it to us. Um,
I would like it to be explained because it was
yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
They seem like a wonderful couple. I was just like, I wish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's great they have an advocate, because I think the healthcare system has not come as far as we think it has in
Right. I
terms of
agree.
this, probably.
Okay. Yeah.
So she says, I'm moving to Iceland, but don't worry, I'm flying home to help with the baby,
Yeah.
which is very
Nice.
nice.
Very nice.
So she's giving up apparently this great midwifery. That word is so funny to me.
Why isn't it
I
midwifery? Why is it
I
wifery?
I don't know, and it sounds like Harry Potter or something. I don't know what it is, like,
It does.
or a
Yeah.
wiffle ball. I don't know why, but that word is hard for me to say.
Yeah.
So she is giving up this great midwifery school in Pennsylvania. It's apparently like one of the best in the country, and she already got in there. She got a spot. She's giving up that spot, and she's going to Iceland, and there's one midwifery school there, and she doesn't have a secured spot.
Yeah.
So she's taking a big risk here, and she can't believe she's doing all this for a man. She's like, if you asked me a year ago, she's a diehard feminist. I would never do that for a man. I'm not moving for a man. I'm not giving up my career for a man. But she thinks Inky is worth it. And the friends are saying, well, does he feel the same way about you? Like, are you getting
Yeah.
married? And she says, no, we haven't really talked about marriage. But he says what's mine, what's his is mine, you know?
And he
So
says
that's
he loves her.
he says he loved me.
Yeah.
He loves me. And they're like, but like, are you soulmate? Like, has he fully committed to this? They just don't know if he's as all in as she is. And
Yeah.
she says, well, now I feel like I'm going to ask him
I
because
think you might. You
I
want to
think
do
you
that.
probably should.
Yeah.
And the whole conversation is making her so stressed and makes her stomach fall out of her butt, which hashtag IBS problems. I understand it, girl. Like Statler, who we're going to meet maybe next episode, also has legendary IBS problems.
Legendary.
So, yeah. So she goes to visit her family, who are so sassy, and I love them.
Was this her mother's house or her grandmother's house?
Well, they said the mom lives there, but I feel like the mom, they said the grandma lives there because they're joking about how much stuff is in the fridge. So I think maybe the mom and the grandma live there. I'm not sure.
It was a huge house, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
So the mom, Tanya, looks like she could be her sister. They look the same age. And then her grandma, Fanny, looks like she could be her mom. And then her sister, Quintessia, just laughs at everyone. It's like, my family's crazy. Yeah. So I want them on Pillow Talk so they could judge Sarper. How funny would all these ladies be screaming at Sarper? So she's going to tell them, I'm moving to Iceland. I was like, yes, this is going to be good. And it didn't disappoint. So first of all, her mom is hard of hearing, not her grandma, but her mom is hard of hearing and uses a tablet that transcribes what people are saying, which this would be hard enough, but her boyfriend's name is Inky, and the sister starts calling him Ingi because it's spelled Ingi, but the G is pronounced like a K. And so Fanny, the grandma, is like, Inky, Stinky, Winky. Like, no one can get his name right. And then Corona says, oh, you're going to love him when you finally meet him. And Fanny says, I doubt it. I don't like people.
I was like INGHI or INGI, but the G, it's one of those like Nordic languages that has like the little little tail on the top or the bottom
or something. Yeah.
And then you're supposed to know that sounds like a K instead of a G or
So she tells them, I'm moving to Iceland, and grandma says, girl, please. And the sister says, what? And the mom says, you're giving up your dreams for Ingi?
Mom is confused
just reading
too.
It on the tablet too.
And mom is like 3 seconds behind on the conversation because she's having to like look up and read it and look. Then she's like, wait, what? Yeah.
It's amazing. So they've only spent 20 days together in person over the course of the last year, and the sisters right away is like me. She's like, did you do a background check on him? What's his last name? What's his birth date? And Corona says, well, his last name, it's confusing because in Iceland, you take your father's first name as your last name, and you also have a family name. And they're like, so you don't know his last name. What's on his driver's license? And Corona says, I've never seen it. And they're like, what if he has a wife? And she says, he's never even been in a relationship before. That was the wrong thing to say.
Yeah,
they're
not
like,
helping.
You're moving to Iceland for a virgin?
She's like, I didn't say he was a virgin.
Not a virgin. And so they're like, oh, so he hooks up with people? She is being interrogated by these women. It's so funny. And she's like, well, he's 38. And they're like, he's 38 and he's not been in a relationship. Something's wrong with him. You don't know if he's a killer. They always show pictures on the news and somebody's smiling. And then it's like, their ass is dead.
They go right to murderer. Well, I like it.
To serial killer. That's what I would do.
Me too.
Loved it. And then they're like, did I mention that Corona is Black? And so they go, are there any Black people in Iceland? And she says, there's like 5, maybe. I don't know. And they're like, okay, great. Have you popped off at him yet? Have you showed him the real Corona? Because apparently Corona has a temper. And she says, no, I've been soft partnering him. I take a deep breath and I come at him like I'm approaching a bunny. And the grandma's like, how many deep breaths can you take?
Apparently she has quite a temper.
Yeah. So she says, I've made up this term soft partnering, which is like gentle parenting. And I am not unleashing my angry side, which I really I have. And the mom says, there is not a school that you have attended that I have not gotten a phone call from because of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, I'm not showing him that part of me. And then grandma very smartly says, so he loves a fake version of you.
Yeah.
This is great. And then the mom just goes, time will tell, but it doesn't sound promising.
But that's right. You can't, I mean, listen, that's great that she's working on her anger issues. I think that is to be commended if she actually she's admitting she has anger issues. So she's trying to tamp it down and not be angry all the time, which
Yeah.
is great. But inevitably, something will happen to piss
Right.
you off. It could be
Yeah.
somebody in traffic. It could be him. It could be you get a bad haircut. I mean, you know what I mean?
Mhm. And he's going to be like, what? Who is this person? And she'll be
Right.
like, well, actually, I've been pretending to be
Yeah.
this non-angry person this whole
Well,
time.
I
So
enjoyed
maybe
her
she's
too.
the problem in the relationship. I love when the American is the problem
Me
in
too.
the relationship.
Me
But when
too.
we have not met him, we don't know anything about Inky.
Mm-mm.
Really, we know nothing. So I'm blank slate. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think I like that his name is Inky. I don't like the gauges in her ears. I really am not a fan of that look. It looks very painful, and I don't understand why you want to put a giant hole in your earlobe. So
Yeah, that's Mary Payne being conservative.
I just can't understand. I just can't.
I
I
feel
can't
the
get my
same
head
way
around it.
about face tattoos, so
Well,
I get
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Also,
same.
Inky, I would I kept thinking it was a nickname, and I was expecting him to be covered in tattoos, but
Oh,
no. Then they explained it's Ingi, and that's his real name, and so then I was like, "Oh, maybe he doesn't have tattoos."
and also, is it actually pronounced Inky? Is she just hearing it Inky?
Well, that's a great point because on one of the shows I watched, Seven Little Johnstons on
Uh huh.
TLC, they
Yeah.
had a foreign exchange student from Finland, and
Uh huh.
they never, in the year that he stayed with them, or few months, whatever it was, they never got his name right. They still don't have it right, and he'll say it back to them, and it's like they are Americanizing that name to
Yeah.
death.
Is
So
it
that's
like it's like
totally possible.
the chef on the Muppets, like ink for
No. His name doesn't seem that hard to say, but maybe she is just Americanizing it. And I
Yeah.
hope he's okay. I hope it's not like a Justin Igor situation
Oh God.
where Nikki's just like, I don't like Igor. You're Justin now.
You're
I'm
Justin.
renaming you like you are a pet. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. God, we hope to never see them again. Okay. So our last couple is James, who lives in New Gloucester, Maine, and Meitalia, who says sometimes people call her Tathia. So Meitalia, Tathia, but her friend calls her Tata.
Right. I think we're
S-
supposed to call her Tata. Well, I don't know what it doesn't on the screen though. It says,
Meitalia, her full
okay. So,
name.
okay.
But she
I'll
also
call
likes
her
to go by,
whatever they want me to call
yeah,
her.
but also she goes by Tathia and Tata. I'm going to call her Meitalia because that is her government name. Okay. James is 33 and she is 27 and she is from s6e, Indonesia. He's from New Gloucester in Maine. So a lot of shots of lobsters and lots
Mm-hmm.
of shots of lobster rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So we meet James. He is an elevator repairman. It's a family business, and it is one of the top 10 most dangerous jobs in the world. His dad one time lost 2 fingers, sewed them right back on. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Um, his hero shot is him in his clothes, but he's barefoot and climbing a tree,
Yeah.
which we saw in
He's
Milk
hanging
Manor
off
this
that
week as
tree like
well. Yeah, we saw that on Milk
he's
Manor
very
this week.
adventurous. I guess they're going for.
Yeah, and then when he smiles real big, he's got a tooth missing in the back and something happening back there, and I don't know what it is, and that
He
upset me.
also giggles a bit like Gino, like really high
Yes.
pitched. He also reminds me, if you were to talk about looks, Brandon of Brandon and Julia, Brandon
Uh-huh.
the Exterminator,
Yeah.
and Josh the Mormon of Josh and
Yes.
Alexandra,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
whose baby was clearly biracial, and
Yes.
they both ignored that issue.
Uh-huh. Still are ignoring that. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, and he seemed to be gay. That Josh.
In some people's opinions.
In some people's opinions.
Uh-huh.
So this James looks like them.
Okay. What's interesting is when they show these couples, right? Especially because we're so happy to have new people, right? We're some fresh meat on these shows.
Yes.
So we see him and we see what she sees when she sees the pictures of him. Like, wow, woo, he looks good. And then you get the person talking and you're like, okay. It's so crazy because also the same with our new friend Josh of Josh and what's her name? Lily.
Really?
Same thing. Like, wow, he's really but he is still pretty good looking. This James, I feel like she was
Once
sold
it's one of those guys when he starts talking, you're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Like
So-
Clayton, a little bit like Clayton, although Clayton wasn't that cute to begin with. He looked kind of like a little boy,
He's
but
cuter in his pictures.
his pictures. And then he starts talking about his guinea pigs and his mom that he lives with in the closet. And he's doing the guinea pig mating sounds. And you're like, oh, I lost it.
Oh, I lost it. It's not there. Yeah. So James is kind of an adventure guy. He's an elevator repairman. He's very outdoorsy. He's again in his clothes, barefoot climbing a tree. And his wife is Meitalia. She's 27 from Indonesia. And she says her area where she lives in Indonesia has a lot of beaches and mountains and a lot of bananas. Later comes into play. They have a cute little dog named Jojo, which is a little fluffy dog. I want to just grab Jojo. So they've been together 5 years total, married for 2.5. They met on social media. He was doing photography and she was doing modeling. And so somehow that algorithm put them together. And we see some of his pictures look great and some of her modeling looks fine. She's pretty, whatever. So she says he's kind of hot and kind of weird. And this is, I've decided because if you're listening on audio, my thing constantly does the thumbs up on my screen. I think I sit like this a lot and it always does it. And this is a new one that came up yesterday because I was talking about 2 of something and it was confetti.
Oh, see, I get balloons.
That's you only did 1.
Oh, I see. You have to do
1
2.
is balloons and 2 is confetti. So guys, if you're on video, you're getting to see this fun times. Okay. So I've decided that I sit like this a lot, and that's why it's constantly giving me the thumbs up. Thumbs up. Is it going to give me hearts? Yes.
There we go.
All right, we're done. That was our fun with
show
AI.
and tell. Yeah.
So fun with robots. Okay, so he's hot and he's weird, and she's a super jealous person. And they got engaged after meeting in person 5 days. Okay, just a very typical 90-day story.
Mm-hmm.
He tells us that she is very, very jealous. And she has told him, if you cheat on me, I will take your dick. And he's, and they go, what's going on? And he goes, because it's so scary.
Tell me that wasn't Gino.
It was,
your boobies.
Yeah, like your big hard boobies. Yeah. So, God, so many pictures of Jasmine in her bathing suit this week. I haven't watched it yet, but oh boy. Okay. So then she says she can go 1 to 1,000 in a second, and everything with her is very emotional, and she cries a lot. Okay. So she's jealous and she cries a lot, and she has mystery illnesses. She sounds like a prize. So
she sounds like Mary of Brandon and Mary.
You're so right. What a good call. What a good call.
One of the most unstable people we have had on this show for a while. I hope Tata is not as bad as Mary.
Yeah. So it starts hailing because they are out foraging for gemstones and mushrooms or something. And she's like, well, what is this? It's just like little hunks of ice. He goes, oh, it's hailing. And she's like, oh, I hate this. So in her talking head, she says, in my culture, the woman follows the husband. So I came to Maine to be with him, and we got married. We had the 90-day, the fiance visa. We got married in 90 days. And now we've been married 2.5 years, but she gets sick all the time. She has all these mystery illnesses. She hates Maine. He works all the time. And she's been going to doctor after doctor after doctor, try to figure out what's wrong with her. She's got something wrong. It's got some sort of bump here in the neck. They don't know if it's in the lymph nodes. Her throat hurts. It hurts for her to swallow and to eat. The doctors can't help her. They can't figure it out.
That sucks. That sounds like a mystery autoimmune disease or
Yeah,
something, and they're
it does.
dismissing her.
It's weird that they can't figure it out if it's been going on this long, and you do wonder if she really, really just wants to get out of Maine, so it's manifesting and being sick, you know?
Which is totally possible if you have
Yeah,
depression, but also autoimmune disease, you feel depressed because you feel sick and no one believes you,
and
and
nobody and you
no
can't
one
figure
can
it
tell
out.
you what is going on.
Yeah.
So
Well, it seems like everybody believes her, they just can't figure it out.
I
So
hope the
or
doctors are believing her and
yeah, or
not
at least he
dismissing
believes.
her.
Yeah, he
He
believes.
believes her,
Yeah.
yes.
And so they're going to move to Indonesia because she trusts the doctors there because they can understand her better. And then she really wants to get herself completely better so she can have kids one day. So he says, gosh, it's going to be really hard, for him to leave everybody behind, his family. And he's very stressed and anxious about the move. And of course, he has something to tell her that she won't like. It's a secret.
Oh, I was excited.
I know. And I don't know if we got the secret, if
I
what
think we
happens at the end, if there's more secrets.
Yeah, there might be more.
More secrets.
That seemed like a crazy buildup for that secret.
That's what I'm saying.
But they
And
do that on the
because
show.
she says, I wonder what else he's hiding, makes you think
Right.
the producer told her to say that. So they're going to a record store, and the guy, the owner of the record store, is really happy to be on camera. Really, he got his lines down, he practiced, and he is happy to chat with them. And they say they're selling some of their things because they're moving to her home country, which is Indonesia. He says, yeah, she leaves on Monday, and then he's going to go a month or so later. So this is new. We didn't know that. So, and when he gets there, they only have a couple of months worth of savings. He's going to work for her dad making banana chips because remember, she works in the banana capital. He worries he won't be able to make enough money to support them. And, maybe she doesn't have a job. Maybe she's too busy trying to figure out what's wrong with her to work. So it doesn't sound promising financially.
Mm-mm.
So she says, I don't understand why we can't talk to your family in person about our move. Like, I'm just going to leave and they don't know. And he says, my family is going to feel very let down with me, that I'm abandoning them. I'm abandoning the family business. And she goes, well, I'm afraid that once I leave and you tell them that you're moving to Indonesia, they're going to hold you back and you won't come. And she's like, I hate secrets. And us not telling them together that we're leaving is really stupid.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. And I guess he doesn't want her to be blamed. I guess he's like, I don't want us to tell together because I don't want her to get blamed. I want them
It's
to
going to be
understand.
worse
Yep.
if you're like, yeah, I'm moving tomorrow and she's already gone.
Yeah. I think they know that they know that she's leaving, obviously. Or maybe
So
they just don't have dinner once a week. So they don't know. They don't see her that much. They don't know.
It's very strange.
I don't know.
Everyone on the show does that. It's better if I just tell them at the last minute. No, it's not.
That's never good. So she tells us that she never thought she would love somebody as deeply as she loves him. And it's hard to trust him. And she doesn't want to get hurt. Like, she doesn't want, but I'm like, you guys are married. You've been together for 5 years.
Yeah. Has he ever cheated?
She doesn't say that he has. I think she's just hard to trust anybody and she doesn't want to get hurt. And so she doesn't want to even let herself love him so much. So record guy says, I hate to interrupt. No, you don't. You're thrilled. You're thrilled to interrupt. He's gone through all the records. He can't use any of them. It's too much easy listening and boring music, and it's music no one wants to hear.
That was sad. That was embarrassing.
Shocking. That was shocking.
I felt uncomfortable.
I was like, really? At a vinyl shop and they want to buy nothing?
Oh.
So she is now, I guess, at their home. And she says she started making jewelry because she was bored. She was sitting around and she makes money doing it. So her best friend, Adele, comes over to help her make the jewelry. Is Adele getting the cut or is she unpaid labor? Unclear.
Yeah.
So we see some of her jewelry. It looks nice.
Yeah.
So she says they're not telling anyone that they're moving, but she really doesn't want to leave to move to Indonesia and not tell Adele. It's her best friend. So she tells her, you're my only real friend here and I feel homesick and James works a lot and I'm lonely and I have something to talk to you about. And she cries. And she says, James and I are moving back to Indonesia and I'm leaving tomorrow. And Adele's like, what? You're what? This is like you're my best friend and you're leaving
I have
tomorrow?
my sweatshop schedule for the next 2 weeks. I thought I was working for you.
I thought I was here every day, 12 to 12. What are you talking about? And so she kept going, tomorrow. And she goes, yeah, I've got this throat problem. And she's like, see this? Like yours is flat. Mine is not. I've got this bump right here. No doctor here can help me. So I'm going to go to a doctor there. And I just want to get healthy and be happy so I can have a baby with James one day. And Adele goes, oh, is James on board about the having the kids? And she goes, yeah, when we were dating, we always said we want to have 2 kids. And she goes, just the other night, James and I were talking and he said he really wasn't very excited about having kids. He was actually scared of having kids. She's like, what?
Oh God, Adele, why are you stirring shit up?
But also that could have just been a general conversation about like, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have kids one day. I mean, having kids is scary. It could have been that kind of thing.
Yeah, it could have been like, I'm a little nervous about having kids. Everyone is. Yeah.
Never a right time. So she cries. It was like, I'm so hurt. He didn't have that conversation with me. We're supposed to be best friends. And I thought we're on the same page. So she is dramatic. Okay.
Yeah. I'm getting a hint of Mary. You're sitting next to a woman on the plane. Oh my God.
That's it. Don't come. So then she's crying to Adele and she goes, I wanted 2 kids. I thought we were on the same page. I just need to talk to him about this. I mean, she's like,
he didn't say no kids. He just said
he was scared about it and wasn't sure.
Adele, you know better than to tell this girl anything.
Here's the problem. Adele did her pre-interview with production and they got this little nugget out of her.
Right.
And now they're, yeah. So now we see her packing. She's going to the airport in a few hours and it's been very stressful. And she doesn't still know when he's going to tell his family that they are moving. I mean, she's leaving in a couple of hours and he's not told his family, hey, you guys looking for Tata at dinner? Oh, set 5 places, not 6, because she ain't coming. She's in another continent.
Be here, but it would take like a day because she's
she's in another land.
Did you notice his wallpaper or wall decals?
Yeah, I noticed around the bed they had like little houses and clouds and stuff.
No, Super Mario Brothers.
At first, I thought it was Super Mario Brothers, and then I was like, no, I think it's actually just like little houses. And but
no, I saw Mario and the pipe. That's what the clouds are part of. I think is the pipe and the when he's jumping on the bricks and all that.
Okay, well, hey, he could go hang out with that other guy, Josh, who likes to play video games. Yeah, Lego guy. So, so they're going to the airport and she says it's stressful. He hasn't told his family. And he says, here's a letter to open when you get on the flight. And I was like, uh-oh. And it's like, see ya never.
Yeah.
So
I'm sleeping with Adele.
Adele and I got it all worked out. So she says, I'm not going to talk to him right now about what Adele said. Like, it doesn't seem like the right time. I'm just going to talk to him about it later. I want everything to be like peaceful. So he cries and he's like, oh God, I just feel awful about you leaving. I'm so sad. Like we haven't been apart this long. And it seems like he has no specific plan of when he's going there. It's like a month or 2.
And why is he going later?
I don't know.
To make more money?
She needs to go ahead and go to get in with the doctors and he needs to make more money because they only have a couple of months worth of savings. I don't know. And so he says, oh, I don't want to wake up without you. And I'll be so sad. I don't hear your laugh when I come home from work. And he says, I gotta bring up a couple of things before she leaves. And there's some things I was supposed to take care of, getting ready to go. And I just found out about Jojo. Now, Jojo's their cute doggy. Jojo is going to have to stay here. Jojo cannot come with us. So I guess he was planning to bring Jojo when he went. And he says, she was like, what? This is fucking bullshit. And he says, there's just bad things over there right now. Dogs have got rabies. If your dog has any symptoms of COVID, like you absolutely cannot take the dog because I could arrive there and they could euthanize our dog. They could take our dog. And I just found this out. And she was like, I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. She's so mad. And she's yelling at him like, are you out of your mind or what? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, I mean, she falls completely apart.
I mean, I get it. This actually made me like her more because this is how I feel about dogs that I just see on the street that I don't know.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
how I feel about your dogs. Like, I would die for your dogs, and I've never met them.
Yes. Yeah. I get
She
that.
is
I get this.
shattered into a million pieces over this news.
So she's bawling and crying and wailing,
Like, there's been a
wailing.
death. Like,
Yes. And by the way, this is what she, oh, why are you telling me now? Oh, Jojo. Oh, my baby is my only baby. Oh. Meanwhile, Jojo's like, hey,
she never once, she's clinging to what's his name, like crying, never once goes to pet or hold the dog that
it
she
seems like
is
trying to
going to
put
be
Jojo
without.
between
For
them and hug
this is
Jojo.
one of those moments where you're like, I'm gonna love you and squeeze you for, and you hug that dog until that dog is squirming to get away. Like,
Yeah.
mom, calm down. But you're
Yes.
like, I'm not gonna see you for a long. She
Yes.
doesn't make a gesture towards the dog.
Dog is walking around the bed like, hey, what's up?
I'm
trying
here.
to get in there.
Yeah.
Trying to get in there like the mom and dad are hugging. I'm trying to get in.
So strange.
That was strange. So she's wailing, Jojo, that's my baby. Jojo's my only baby. Woo-hoo. And so she says, I'm heartbroken because, what if James doesn't want to have a kid? Jojo is my kid. He's my constant companion. And I understand that James works a lot. And so she's always with Jojo. And we get it. We're dog people. We get it. So James says,
But pet the dog then.
but Jojo was like, Mom, why are you crying?
Yeah.
I think Jojo's pretty used to her crying and wailing.
Crying, I think, yeah, she cries a lot.
So James like, we both love Jojo. And I knew if I told you this before, then you might not even go. And so we need to put your health first. So I had to wait to tell you to make sure you'll go. Your health needs to be first. And as soon as it's safe, Jojo will come. As soon as they say it's okay for the dog, Jojo will come. And she goes, I guess I'm going to have to just trust him on this. I wonder what else he hasn't told me. Yeah.
Foreshadow.
And that's it. And if they do, so I watched it on a screener. So if they did like this season on, probably they did. I did not see it. So I couldn't take any notes on it. But all we know is we're getting Statler and Dempsey. And then everybody else
driving around in their van.
Which is your dream. I know.
My dream, but not with another person. So
right. And now they're having a fallout over the van.
Mm-hmm.
And Statler has called Dempsey what I think is a kind of a cultural slur.
Oh.
It's gypsy. She's called her a gypsy.
Oh, yeah, that is a slur.
I think that is not like a Stevie Nicks kind of a gypsy, but like not in the good way, but in the bad way.
Yeah.
Now Dempsey did tell us that her family was travelers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is just a different term.
Yeah. Were they circus people? Were they like, which also carnival people, which might be a slur as well, but not as much a cultural one, but a group slur. I don't know what the word is.
Well, we had Leanne Lockett on the Real Housewives of Dallas. She's a carny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was a carny. I grew up as a carny. Yeah, she was terrifying. I don't know. So I guess that after being together for at least a year, and Statler feeling that Dempsey has taken her money, she definitely took the van life, and now it's not working out. But they never seemed like they were going to work out. So I was surprised that they were trying to keep it going.
Yeah, I think that maybe for the TV show. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe they're like, we could get van life paid for a year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting. Well, anybody, if you have any Statler and Dempsey news, let us know.
Yeah.
Statler's very active on the social media.
Oh yeah, she holds no bar. She
holds no bars. Is that what you're trying to say? No holds barred.
No holds barred. She gives no Fs. She'll call out anybody.
Yes, she will. Yes, she will. I'm
surprised they haven't put her on Pillow Talk because she has hot takes.
Oh, I think she'd be a little too spicy.
Too mean. Yeah, they need people to hold. Like one. Everyone doesn't like Big Ed on Pillow Talk, but no one calls him a disgusting predator, which is what we want them to say. Yeah, everyone needs to play nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do know Emily
she
and
wouldn't play
Kobe
nice.
I do know Emily and Kobe are on Pillow Talk, for this season of The Other Way,
Oh,
so I
good.
am looking forward that's on my DVR, I'm looking forward to watching that. My
They're some of my
buddies.
favorites on Pillow
I know.
Talk. They're
They're
great.
very good. They're very
Mhm.
good.
Yeah,
And I will tell you that I got a gift box from TLC, and in it was,
I
like
saw.
a knockoff Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So now I
Oh,
have
was it a
4.
knockoff?
Mhm. It wasn't real. It wasn't Stanley. It wasn't Stanley brand, but
I don't think you
it's
need a
this
Stanley brand. I think those are ridiculously expensive.
have you seen these stickers that I got?
Oh, cute.
I've got these stickers in the store, guys, and they're of my dogs with pink sunglasses on.
I love it.
So head on over to
So
pinkshavepodcast.com and
cute.
click store. Um, Kimberly, what's going on over there on A Date with Dateline? How you guys
We're
doing over there?
we're doing just great.
Okay.
We are taking this week off though, which I didn't announce yet. So heard it here first.
Okay. So you're saying it here on Tuesday that there will be no new Dateline episode on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that's fine. We will always wait for you to come back
thank you.
with
I
bated breath.
appreciate it. Katie's going
Congratulations
out
on
of
your move.
the country for a wedding, and I just moved. So
Yeah. Well, you deserve a break. And, I think that you should use this week off to get yourself unpacked, get your peel and stick wallpaper up,
mhm.
get yourself all the way together, or lay around and watch the new season of The Bear, whichever.
I haven't watched the first 2 seasons, so I've been catching up on 90 Day UK, and I
Mm,
watched that Harlan Coben Fool Me Once, and it was very entertaining.
I don't know what those words are you just said there at the end.
Harlan Coben,
What's that?
oh, he's a mystery thriller author, and
Okay.
they make a ton of he has, like, a deal with Netflix, so, like,
Okay.
every one of his books turns into a Netflix miniseries.
Is he
They're
American?
British.
He's
No, they're
British.
British. I'm
Oh,
assuming he's British because they are all British, but
okay.
they're those addictive where you're trying to figure it out, and then
Huh.
if you figure it out, you feel really proud of yourself.
I
Um,
need a new book, so I'm glad you're telling me this.
oh yeah, my mom has read all of his. She loves his. He's like
So there's
James Patterson, one of those kind of guys.
okay. So have you yourself read the books?
No,
You've only watched the shows.
I I don't read. I only
Okay.
watch the shows. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Somebody let me know if these books are worth reading because I'm looking for a new book. But see, my problem is that if I find an author like that, I'll be like, oh, the book is really good. Let me just roll to the next one. And then it'll be 3. If there's somebody like that that's got so many books,
Yeah.
that's like what I did with Ellen Hildebrand. I just read all the Nantucket books and now I feel like I should move to Nantucket.
Oh,
But all the storylines, everything run together because that's what I shouldn't do that. I should go to another author and then come back. So somebody let me know about
have you
Harlan
read
Coben.
Lucy Foley's books?
No, I'm writing
She's
that
a
down.
British author, and she writes these, like, murder mystery things.
Yeah, yeah, I like some sort of like, I did read a book called, I'm not gonna be able to remember it, so I'm not gonna say, but now I'm reading the follow-up, so that's great information and very worth sharing since I can't remember the name of it. It was
It's
called
like, "You guys, I saw the best movie. You're going to love it. It's incredible. Don't miss." I don't remember the name. I cannot tell you.
this first book was called, like, The New Mrs. Parrish, and the next one's called The Other Mrs. Parrish or something like that, Mrs. Parrish, and the first one was very good, and then now there's a follow-up, and I'm reading that, and
Oh,
I don't know
great.
who it's by, but Mrs. Parrish, Parrish, is in the title, so if you look that up, you can figure it out.
Great.
Ah. It's about, it's a twist. There's a twist because somebody's fooling somebody, but really the other person was fooling them and they didn't know. And I
Ooh,
love
I
it.
love it.
I love it. Book recommendations, everybody. Reach out. That's what we're looking for here, except for Kimberly, because she doesn't read.
I read when we do our book club for Patreon at, like, twice a year.
Well, also Kimberly's looking for ideas for peel and stick wallpaper. So if you guys know like a really good brand or something easy to line up or easy to put up,
Mhm.
let Kimberly know. You can DM her on the old Instagram. She
Yeah,
replies there quite a bit.
that would be great.
Okay, that's it. And you guys, again, this is over on video on YouTube. If you want to see our cute faces, don't be excited. It won't be every week. It's just every so often. We're trying something new. Why people like video of podcasts, I don't know, but they do.
I know,
I,
they really do.
they really
We're
do.
gonna start doing some more of that, I think.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.